golfj.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Golf J podcast on golfj.com. I'm Jim Sinacropi alongside Rhett Taccone inside the Finger Lakes 1.tv studios in Seneca Falls, New York on Monday, January 18th. And on today's show, we'll be talking about Fabian Gomez's win at the SONY in Hawaii.
Hot.
We'll review Devel Golf's pitchfork tool. We'll give you our fantasy golf picks for the CareerBuilder Challenge at La Quinta. And we'll have a chance for you to win a Golf J hat if you're the first to answer this week's trivia question. So, Rhett, let's get right to it. The SONY Open, the second event of the year, of the 2016 calendar year, second event of the Hawaii swing.
Yeah, another week in Hawaii for these guys.
Yeah,
Must
and they'll
be nice.
come back to the contiguous 48 next week.
Yeah, we're a little bundled up here in the studios this week. It's a little colder than it's been.
But Fabian Gomez made 10 birdies during his, what was it, 8 under 62 on Sunday to capture his second tour title. Gomez's final round was the lowest by a winner in the history of the SONY Open in Hawaii at -20. He made 7 straight birdies at one point. He's just the 10th player in the past 25 years to make 7 in a row en route to victory.
What's the most birdies you've ever made?
5.
5? I got 3 once.
3, yeah, I had 5 once. It was spanning the back 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Think about it. 7 birdies in a row in tournament conditions in the final round. That's pretty impressive. And those guys make birdies all the time. You know, when they're practicing at home, they probably string 10, 12 together sometimes in one of their, lower rounds. But
yeah,
that's impressive to do that in the pressure of a tournament golf.
Yeah, the course I did it on was my home course, not as difficult as, although that course wasn't putting up much of a fight in Hawaii this week.
Yeah, no, the wind was a lot calmer than it usually is on the ocean there at Wailea. But
you a Fabian Gomez fan?
I like him. Yeah, I mean he's just his second win in the last year. I mean he was in the top 10 in last week. The guy's got some real skills, and more than anything, he's pumped up. He's going to the Olympics probably now with his late play. But yeah, he's a good guy and a good guy to watch. He's going to be one to reckon with all season long.
And you wonder with some of these winners, these youngish guys that have won their first or second, how many of them are going to contend in the majors this year? It's just a lot of new talent, a lot of international talent. It's going to be a great year.
And it wasn't, not a lot of the bigger names, so to speak, played in this one, but it just seems like since last October when they started this 2016 season, every week's a new guy, and they all are talented, and they're all staying in the top 25, so to speak, every week. It's the PGA Tour, as far as the talent goes top to bottom, has probably been as strong as it's ever been in a long time, at least.
Yeah, I couldn't argue with that. And speaking of talent, Brandt Snedecker, it looks like he's coming back to form, tied for second after losing in the playoff. Snedecker 16th in stroke gain putting on tour this year, and not surprisingly, he's coming off back-to-back top 5 finishes, ranked 11th in the FedEx Cup standing. So here's a guy who was considered elite, kind of dropped a little bit, and he's getting back there. It's going to be crazy this year. I'm telling you, in the majors, how can you pick them?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. The fantasy golf predictions are going to be all over the map this year. But it's interesting on the broadcast yesterday. They go to the first hole. They both go down. Snedecker just misses an 11-footer to make the birdie to win. They go back to the tee, and as they're going back there, Peter Jacobsen was talking, and kudos to him. He's talking about, maybe they do a little something different on this tee box going into this next hole. Right. And he said, maybe take out 3-wood or something less than the driver. Because a lot of the guys were putting it to the right into the rough. Snedecker blows it. He takes out his driver again, blows it right into the trap on the right-hand side. Gomez takes out a railer or a hybrid, puts it right down the middle, and he's the winner. So, Peter Jacobsen knew what he was talking about there, but that's one of the hardest finishing holes or driving holes on the tour. So he did the right thing there. He made a little change, and it worked for him.
Also found it interesting this week, Zach Blair finished tied for third at 19 under, 25 years old, Salt Lake City native, turned pro in 2014, went to school at BYU, just another young gun, that's setting his sights on the McIlroys and Days and Spieths of the world. 2 top 10 finishes this year already, and he had 2 total all of 2015. Right. So, look out for Zach Blair. And then you want to talk about young guns. How about Siwoo Kim? He finished 4th, the South Korean, just 20 years old.
2012. He's been a pro since he was like 17, but he's on his way up the ladder too.
It's amazing, the people in the field that see Woo Kimby at age 20.
Yeah,
it's amazing. So, other tours getting ready to get back into action here. The Champions Tour will be returning at the Mitsubishi Electric Championship at Hualai. Yeah, the 20th year the event has been held at that venue. On the Big Island of Hawaii. Miguel Angel Jimenez, defending champ. Web.com Tour kicks off next Thursday at the Panama Championship. A new wave of up-and-coming players will begin their quest for one of 25 PGA Tour cards through the regular season, and then, of course, in another additional 25 cards available during the Web.com Tour Finals.
Which is a great addition to the FedEx Cup playoffs. If you love golf, watching the Web.com Tour Finals is pretty interesting stuff too.
I enjoyed it. It really, kudos to the tours.
Right.
The fall viewing for golf fans is great.
Is.
Usually after the PGA Championship, people tune out, but it's exciting stuff.
Yep, absolutely.
With the fall finish, and LPGA also coming back, but not until the first week of February. They'll be in Ocala, Florida, for the Coates Golf Championship. So, got a new product to review this week from Devel Golf. It's a repair tool.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell our viewers about it?
So we've got a divot repair tool here from Devel Golf. You can look them up at develgolf.com. It's a little different. It's called the Pitchfork because it has, actually is one of the first, or might be the first you'll ever see, a three-pronged divot repair tool. So what it does is the middle prong is a little bit longer and allows you to get the pitchfork. So it's called the Pitchfork. The middle prong underneath the divot is farther, and it pulls it up higher, and then it gives you the other two prongs to make sure that it's repairing the top surface. It's a great tool, well made. It's made of aluminum, and it also comes with a ball marker, magnetic ball marker as well. So the guys at Devel Golf have taken the lead on divot repair tools, something that may have been just kind of overlooked in the past. These guys have actually kind of specialized in divot repair tools and markers, and that's the route they're going. So it was a good product. It was a little warmer last week. I got out on the course and tried it out a little bit. It works well. I like I use divot repair tools. So this was something interesting that we'll put in the bag and see how it goes. But it seemed to work well last week. What do you think about the golf repair tool business?
Well, this is a good product. It's unique. It looks kind of cool. Maybe I'd be scared if you poke yourself.
Watch. Don't sit down on the golf course. You might. I didn't poke myself with it, but it definitely is sharp. So watch yourself.
Could you clean your grooves with it too?
You definitely could. Yeah, absolutely. I actually did. I took it and cleaned out the grooves a little bit with the middle prong there, and that worked out well. And it probably better than a tee would, because the tees kind of get smushed up a little bit after, and they don't fit in your grooves as good. So a couple of reasons to use it or give it a try.
Yeah, maybe I'm not the best guy to review that. I don't.
You're more of a tee guy, aren't you?
I just use a tee. Yeah. A couple punching up and good to go. It's just an extra accessory. Personally, I don't need, but some people love their ball mark repair tools.
That, and if you're into unique golf-related items, this is definitely one for you to check out.
It is unique.
Yeah, develgolf.com. You can learn more about them and take a look at the Pitchfork at develgolf.com.
Bottom line, replace your ball marks, people, right?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like the guy, the owner, he's an Englishman, and he just got tired of people not repairing their divot repair, or their divots and their ball marks. So, he kind of was thinking about it and what he could do, and he came up with this unique divot repair tool. And I'm all for that, because I always try to fix mine and at least two others, and more people should do that. So if you're going to get into that, check out develgolf.com and get yourself a Pitchfork.
All right. Thanks to the folks at Devel Golf for sending that over for us to give it a shot. Time for the golfj.com trivia challenge. We just mentioned earlier in the show that Fabian Gomez made 7 straight birdies during his final round of the SONY on Sunday. He's just the 10th player in the past 25 years to make 7 in a row on the way to winning the event. And the question for you is, who was the last to do it? So you can tweet your answer at the golfj. First person to tweet at us will win a golfj hat. And it's a nice hat. It's
absolutely new era.
New era cap with the Classic Golf J logo.
No doubt.
And
no
URL stitching on the side
Absolutely.
panel.
So you can give it a little props to
It's a nice
golfj.com.
You can go flat brim or you can go classic brim.
Classic, yep, absolutely. Snap back, or we get you a fitted one as well if you want.
So go ahead, tweet that answer at us. We'll have the answer at the end of this show, but by then somebody's already going to have won the sweet hat.
Absolutely.
So hang in for the answer. You got a quick tip for us this week. Last week my tip was take 50 practice swings
right. And this is
through the winter.
Right.
A day.
Exactly.
Have you been doing it?
Absolutely. Yeah. Try to get maybe not 50, but I try to get at least 25 or something. I
but,
use that weighted club and I go down in the basement.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I keep an older club near my back porch, so whenever I'm out there, I just grab it.
Right. But this week we're going to talk a little bit more about practice and not necessarily through the winter, but on the range, your routine, whether it's pre-round or if it's just out on the range. A lot of us we get into this routine where we'll hit the same club. We'll go and we'll work through our bags from low irons or high irons to low and then into your woods, and we'll hit 10 to 15 of a 9 and then 10 to 15 of a 7 and on and on and on. And that's what they call the blocked practice routine. And what they're saying is, maybe try to switch that up and not necessarily go that route, because that's not how you play a round of golf. So maybe have a little bit more of a random practice routine where you'll hit a 9 iron and then maybe go on and go to a 5 iron and then maybe hit your 3 wood and then go back to a 7 iron and just go through the same amount of shots. Maybe hit, hitting bucket or 2 buckets or whatever you want to do on your practice routine. But go through it more like it would be a real round of golf. Hit your driver, and then go hit a 5 or a 6 iron, and then maybe a sand wedge, and then go back through and do that again.
I tell you, what I do, especially on a hot day where I want to get some practice in, but I don't want to sit there and beat ball after ball and start sweating, is I start on the first tee in my mind and hit my driver, and then I know where that would go according to my home course, and then I'd play the next shot. Aside from the putting and chipping, I just kind of work through, and that gives you some time between each shot, not only to not get hot and start sweating, but to treat each practice shot like it's a shot on the course. Go to the club, get the new club, line it up like you would your regular shot and hit it, and you can also even keep score in your head. You can say, by greens and regulation, so it's a good way to practice. There's
a little study done on it, and they were talking about how you can, if you do the same shot over and over again, it evolves into boredom, and you just don't really concentrate as much on the shots as you go along, and you're trying to hit that perfect 7 iron, and you don't get to it until maybe the 17th time you're hitting it, and you don't know, is that the perfect 7 iron, or was the other one 5 shots ago? So it's better to do a little bit more randomness and prepare yourself better for your round of golf.
Well, that's a good tip, no doubt about that. Greg Norman out at Fox. The golf world rejoices.
That was a quick trip.
He never could finish.
No, he didn't hit the U.S. Open last year either. Based on what we talked about back in the summer last year, and what others have said. He was the guy that's kind of supposed to be the guy, the lead guy. Now, I mean, Joe Buck was the lead, analyst.
Well, he's a play-by-play guy, and Norman's the analyst.
He should have taken charge and given great insight. Dustin Johnson misses that putt. Greg Norman knows what that's about. Let's give a little more insight into that stuff, and he just didn't do it. He was more waiting on other people to say something, and then he kind of add to it. So it was a little disappointing, and I think maybe we probably all saw this coming. Maybe not quite as quick, but
Well, not all. Just because you're a big name athlete doesn't mean you can transition to that role in the booth.
Right,
not everybody can do it. It's the same for golf, and nothing against Greg Norman. It wasn't his cup of tea. That's fine. Obviously. Very successful businessman, that's his forte. So,
great wine.
But, I'm glad he's gone. Didn't like listening to him. And my choice for replacement is Paul Azinger.
And I think they were talking about that. That's probably the number one guy.
There's a guy that's going to give you some, unique perspective, number one, and not going to hold back on their opinion, even when it's not unpopular.
He's not going to be easy on the guys. He's going to tell it like it is.
So, I think it's a great idea, and I also look forward to seeing what Fox does in their second run through now, with their coverage of the majors.
Right.
Or the U.S. Open,
Absolutely.
Specifically. Where they got the U.S. Open, and do they got the British yet?
No, I don't think so. NBC has the British.
Oh, yeah.
But they have
they have all the USGA events.
All the USGA events, yep.
Okay.
So.
Oh, Greg Norman won't be there.
No, we know that. He'll be watching just like us.
Okay, time for the fantasy golf primer for the CareerBuilder, and we said we were going to compete a little this year, so this is what we're doing. We're giving 5 points for the winner. Each week we pick a winner, we pick a solid play and a sleeper.
Yep.
Help you filling out your squad.
Right.
And you can't cheat on it. You can't pick like two winners with your
Right.
solid pick, and
Right.
you can't pick a solid pick with your sleeper. They got to be legit.
Maybe in the Masters.
And kind of go with the DraftKings.
Top to bottom money values.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, you get 5 points for a winner. We get 1 point if one of your 3 picks is top 20. 2 points if they're top 10. We'll keep it simple. And after the first week, you're beating me 3-1. My pick for a winner was Adam Scott. He finished tied for 56. Sorry about that. If you're going by my hunch,
Your sleeper was sleeping too.
It was a bad hunch. Chad Collins, he missed the cut. He had a good one of the 2 rounds was good, but missed the cut with Chad Collins. Scott Piercy, my solid play, actually was solid.
Yeah.
Finished tied for 13th, got me my 1 point.
Right.
And you did a little better than me.
Yeah, I'll take, I did DraftKings as well, and on that I had a good week. I made all 6 made the cut. But, my winner was Matt Kuchar. He came in T13, so he got me a point. Tony Finau let me down a little bit. I thought he was going to come out a little bit better than he did. He had a few really good rounds, and he had a 71 on Sunday that hurt him. And then my man, though, came through for me. I called it. And Jerry Kelly, he came in top 10, and I thought he would. And he was my sleeper. So I got 3 points. So I'll take the early lead out of the clubhouse.
Yeah, well, good job. Well, let's add it again and see
Another
what we
week.
pick this week. Career Builder Challenge in partnership with the Clinton Foundation. PGA West TPC Stadium Course, La Quinta. Past winners, Bill Haas, defending champ. Patrick Reed won it in 2014. Brian Gay won it in 2013. Phil Mickelson's teeing it up this week.
Absolutely. Left his back.
Fun to see how he'll
Close to home.
stack up, or if this is just another step closer to the end of his career. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people last year said, look, that's it. He's done. No more contention in majors.
I'm not ready to give up on him yet.
No Jordan Spieth, no Jason Day, no McIlroy. Still
a couple more weeks, I think, probably before we see those guys.
Pretty good field, though.
Yeah, absolutely. So who you got?
Well, I think since you beat me last week, I'll give you the honors.
All right, well, I can go with that. I'm going to go with David Langmuth for my winner. He was T13 last week, and he had a final round 64. He's been playing very good golf since the middle of last year, and I just like him as a solid winner pick for this week. What about you?
For the winner, I'm going with Patrick Reed. He's been in contention in every tournament. He's second place almost every tournament he's played so far since the fall. Yep. He won here in 2014 by 2 strokes. I'm going with Patrick Reed. Okay. I feel really good about that pick too this week. Last week's Adam Scott was a hunch. I have him on another fantasy golf team in a big league that I'm in.
Right.
And I wanted him to win. I was wrong.
I struggled with
this week. I'm right.
I like that pick. I struggled with taking him or not taking him, and I ended up not taking him. But that's a great pick there. For my solid play, I'm going to go with Luke Donald. He's been playing well of late. He was T28 this past week. He had shot a pair of 65s through the tournament. I like Luke Donald to make another resurgence, kind of like Brandt Snedecker. I think he's on his way back up.
That was encouraging to see Donald tied for 28th, former world number 1's been struggling to stay in the top 100. Yep. So good for Luke last week. We'll see if he can do it again for your sake.
Put 2 in a row away.
I'm going with Zach Blair. We talked about him earlier in the show. Latest young gun ready to break out, in my estimation. Second place or third place finish behind Snedecker at the Sony.
Playing the hot hand.
And I think he's going to break through. I would feel comfortable even with him as my winner pick. But so I feel like I got a good top 2 this week. Right. I'll go with my sleeper.
Okay.
And I made up for it with my sleeper. I went deep sleeper this week.
He's not going to be asleep like your last sleeper, is he?
Well, we'll see. Steve Wheatcroft. He's 38 years old, tied for 67th last week. Missed a couple cuts before a couple 60-something finishes in the fall.
Played well here last year.
Last year played well. If that's California weather, I think is going to treat him well, and I predict Steve Wheatcroft puts a little something together this week.
Some courses play better to other people's eyes, so I mean that's why I took Jerry Keller last week. He plays well at Wiley, and that's why I just had a good feeling. So that could be the same result this week for you.
Your sleeper not as deep as mine, though.
No.
This is where we might have to argue a little bit about whether this guy's a true sleeper. But who you got?
He's sleeper, but it's Daniel Summerhays. He was T13 last week with the final round 66. He's been solid, over the course of the last year. So you could give me a little bit of give me a little bit on that one, but I'm going to go with him this week until the jury says otherwise.
Yeah, well, he's just to me another one of those guys that's just laying below the surface that that could string together a month of great play and all of a sudden find themselves top 20 world ranking type of guy.
Exactly.
Maybe we should figure out some bonus point system for how deep the sleeper is.
All right,
that's fair multiplier enough. Maybe we'll get back to you.
We'll come back to you on that one.
So there's our fantasy picks. Hopefully we do a little better for you this week. Although anybody that picked your guys might have done well in their DraftKings if they also had Fabian Gomez.
That would help too.
So I don't know if you saw this week in the news, Jordan Spieth endorsed by Coca-Cola. I love Coca-Cola. It's my soft drink of choice.
Okay.
I'm not a Pepsi guy. I'm a Coke guy. I also like Jordan Spieth, so this is a nice marriage. But Jordan Spieth, the All-American role model, endorsing a sugary drink.
He took a couple hits last week after that. I mean, I think after the dust settled about the deal, everybody was like, "Well, wait a minute, this is a sugary drink, so to speak," and everybody's on that bandwagon. But hey, I mean, LeBron endorsed Sprite. Hey, Michael Jordan with Gatorade. Gatorade has sugar in it too. I mean, it's all in moderation, and it's not one of those things where he's out there, shilling for cigarettes or something like that.
He doesn't care. He's getting paid.
He's getting paid.
Nobody cares.
There's all kinds of different beverages within the Coca-Cola stable, anyways, and he's going to represent a lot of them. So
he signed the contract and bought Hunter Mahan's house the next day.
$8.5 million house, got a basketball court, a mural of the Augusta in the garage, an underground garage. Amazing pool. This guy's rolling, man. He's rolling.
Coke is it.
He won last week, and he's just going to keep going. So God bless the guy, and if he wants to endorse Coca-Cola, so be it.
Yeah, good for him. Well,
absolutely.
Promised you the answer to our trivia question. Fabian Gomez, 7 straight birdies at one point and during his final round. Just the 10th player in the past 25 years to make 7 in a row on the route to the winner's circle. The last to do it. You don't have to go back too far.
Last year or 2 years ago.
2014 Travelers Championship, you may remember Kevin Streelman
had a hot hand that
made
day.
some big news there, and so that's the answer, Kevin Streelman. We'll have to check out the old Golf J Twitter account, see if anybody's getting a hat this week. He actually birdied his last 7,
right,
and then dropped the mic and
really impressive.
Walked off the course. So.
Thank you very much. I'll be here all the week.
So, that about does it for this week's edition of the GolfJ.com podcast. Thanks for spending time with us. Connect with us online. We're at Twitter. On Twitter at the GolfJ.
We are.
We're on Instagram as well at _GolfJ. And then you can search for us as well on Mark Zuckerberg's favorite site.
Absolutely.
Facebook. Search for GolfJ. We'll come right up. Connect with us. We're always filling those feeds with great golf stuff. And before we go, you're going to the golf show in Orlando.
Yeah, next week. Next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Or Wednesday and Thursday is the show at the convention center. So we'll be there looking for some new stuff to cover and see what's going on with all the products.
You'll be sending us, the media, back up here. The media will do some nightly recaps, and then we're going to release kind of over the next month or so everything that we interviews, product, hands-on type of stuff. So
it's the place to be for all the new golf stuff. And
I'm jealous. You're gonna get a round in down there too, I guess, probably.
I'm gonna try. We'll see. I might be busy looking up all these new vendors and products, so we'll see. Hopefully, I can play some golf though.
So all of our episodes in the best of the World Wide Web of our all of our episodes in the best of the wide world of golf on the web.
That's right.
Can be found at golfj.com. We'll be back next Monday with another episode. Until then, whatever you're doing this next week, make sure you go low.
GolfJ.com